Hey kids, Jester here, welcome back to the court. What is actually going to be the last court for a little while. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong and it's not ending as such. But I'm going to be taking some time off from doing the court every Sunday like I have been doing for, what is it now, 35 episodes? And it's for various reasons, none of them particularly serious. It's just the point now where it's like there's so much else going on in my life that I just kind of need the spare time, if that makes sense. Like my YouTube stuff is very important to me, all the gaming and all that kind of... The gaming, by the way, will still be going on, don't worry about that, it's going to continue because that's just fun. That is my opportunity to play video games when I don't otherwise get an opportunity to. But the court was always sort of that extra thing that I wanted to do, just to do something different. But with everything else going on, I'm at college, I'm working full time, so many things. Just for the time being, I need to take a step back a little bit from some things that I can afford to not do. Oh, well, not afford to not do. That makes it sound like it's... Basically, I'm going to stop doing the court out for a while because I just need to. There's other stuff going on and I could really do with the time that I would usually put into the court back again to be able to keep up with everything else, which includes the gaming. So don't worry, you're still getting stuff from me and this is partially to benefit you guys watching me as well. I know there's not many of you, but I love the ones that are there. So in this last, at least for a while, episode of the court, let's just do like a quick recap of where everything is, I suppose. I may not have very many subscribers on YouTube or very many followers on Twitter, which is where I put a lot of my notifications to say when a video's come out. But that's fine. I didn't start doing this with the hopes or the desires to become famous. I say famous, but you know what I mean. I didn't start doing this hoping that expecting to be noticed. I did it because it was fun, and I did it because I needed an excuse to start playing games again, and it did that for me. I discovered that commentating while playing them was a hell of a lot of fun. Sure, editing's a bitch at times, but even that's kind of fun. And the court was just an added thing there, just sort of... I'll admit that one was kind of in hopes that I'd be doing something kind of different that might get me noticed a little bit. Not in so much that just because I've not been noticed I'm bothered by that. That's not true at all. So I'm where I want to be as such. It's not that I'm not where I wanted to be at this point. There's nothing going on like that. I'm like where I am. I like playing games and putting them on YouTube. That's fun. If it goes somewhere one day, that's brilliant. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. Beside that, there's my blog is still going, obviously. Well, I'm taking a couple of weeks off now because I've just finished this, the third or fourth? How do I not remember this? I've just finished the most recent chapter of Blaze over on my blog on jesterconceptions.blogspot.co.uk. You can go read that if you want to. A new chapter will be starting in about 2 weeks-ish time, and hopefully I will get around to doing the Hunters as well. Because that's another reason why I'm stopping the court, to give myself more time to do all these things that I originally wanted to do. When I first started having a presence on the internet beyond just, your generic presence on the internet, it was doing my writing on my blog. I was doing that long before I was doing YouTube videos. And then YouTube videos was kind of in part, but people who noticed me there might possibly follow the link that I put up on YouTube to go read the blog. And it kind of worked to an extent. So yeah, so taking the time from the court back again to be able to concentrate on the writing, which is the most important thing to me, that's a big factor in this. And will possibly educate what the court will be when I come back. A lot of you really liked my recent The Court short, entitled The Hum, which was based on, well, it was kind of like a creepypasta and movie in film form, I suppose. A lot of you guys really liked that, and that was kind of an original writing. And I'd always hoped that eventually I'd be doing videos like that on YouTube, the videos that actually reflected my written content. It's why I recently changed the name of the channel from Jester Conceptions Gaming back to just Jester Conceptions, which is what it was originally. And who knows, that could be how the court re-emerges, or it could be something entirely new, as in title-wise, that just fills a slot of where the court used to be released. Or maybe it won't be the court ever again, and maybe it'll just be like random videos just whenever, and I might call them The Court, I suppose, just because it's a title we all know. Well, 41 of us, but still. But yeah, beyond that, it's just the time. I'm working full time, mentioned that already, and it gets stressful when I'm there and all I'm thinking about, because I don't want to be there. I just want to get home and do stuff on my computer. But then the stress comes in because that's all I'm thinking about, and it's not that I'm stressed about having to do stuff for YouTube, it's just... even then it's something you enjoy doing, it's when you've got too many things on your plate, do you know what I mean? and I'm also still training to be an interpreter for the deaf. That's still a thing I'm very much concentrating on, seeing where that's going, and I need the time, a little bit more time to put into, really practicing and studying it. So there's a lot of factors why the court's going. It's not going forever, or at least something will eventually come into its place, hopefully. It just all depends on how the timing works out. But in the meantime, the gaming still exists. I'm still going to be here doing stuff. I'm going to hopefully improve my presence on Twitter as well, because recently, really, it's only just me putting up a notification when a video comes out, and people who are already subscribed to me are pretty much the only people that follow me on Twitter already, so that's kind of like superfluous. So maybe I'll actually start making Twitter into something of its own power as well, if you know what I mean. Like maybe I could there's a Twitter out there called Very Short Story. I really like those. That Twitter's amazing. I really like their tweets. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to copy them. Actually, that's exactly what I'm saying. But it's not what I mean. I'm saying something that sounds like something else, but it's not what I actually mean. Does that make sense? Basically, maybe I'll start using my Twitter to do something a bit more writing-oriented as well. It's one thing I've definitely neglected doing with that Twitter, and that's notifying people when one of my blog posts comes out. Because not everybody that watches me on YouTube and follows me on Twitter also watches and follows the blog. So that, I'm missing an audience there, or 41 of us. Seriously, I'm not bothered about the number. It's just a funny thing to say, And also, I'm gonna start. I'm doing a lot more other stuff as well, with some bits and pieces of time that I do have. Some of you may remember when I originally appeared on the Canuck podcast with my good friend Lord X. We both kind of founded that thing. It's very much his baby. He likes to make me feel better and say I was one of the founding members. I helped bring it, and apparently I thought of the name. But it's very much his baby. I was just along for the ride, and I was really glad to help him out with it. But then at some point, at a point about 10 episodes in, I had to draw back out for the same reasons I'm stopping the court now. It's just timing was not good, and it was especially bad for me and him because of the time zone difference as well. He's in Canada, I'm over here. Obviously, that's where the name Canuck comes from. So that was really unfortunate, but we had the 1 year anniversary this week just gone, and the podcast that went up on the 3rd, which was the 1 year anniversary, I reappeared for. I had the time going this week from work, thankfully, at just the right moment, so we both recorded that together, and that went up. That was great. So much fun. I missed that so much. I didn't realise how much I missed it until I did it again. And also at some point soon, I'm hoping to do another podcast-like thing, a very different kind of podcast. The podcast that I do with Lord X is very sort of news, media and geek nerd stuff, oriented news kind of stuff. But there's a podcast that my friend Dr. Lech is also doing on his channel called The Rat Cave. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Which is a lot more like your chatty kind of thing, kind of like the Rooster Teeth podcast. Think of The Patch, is that their game news podcast, kind of? That's more equatable to how me and Lord X do, or did, the Canuck podcast. So you can compare the Rat Cave a bit more to the generic RT podcast, where it's just them guys sat around chatting about whatever. And hopefully we're hoping to get an episode of that done between us, me and him, Dr. Lech, at some point this week. So I'm hoping freeing a bit more time up to do stuff like that as well. Mind you, only when and if I can, because like I said, a big main reason why I'm stopping the court is to get the time back to do more kind of real lifey stuff, and more of the stuff that is actually important to me. Like, I never did the YouTube videos to get famous, but I'm certainly writing my blog with the hopes of getting noticed. I'm not going to deny that. So yeah, so that's the gist of it. That's the news this week. This will be the last court for a while. But I'll still be on my blog in another 2 weeks' time. Blaze will come back. Maybe the Hunters will come back around about the same time. Maybe sometime before, maybe sometime after. The gaming videos on this channel will still be occurring. I'll still be here, completely and totally. It's just the court that's stopping. And hopefully I'll start doing something more important, or hopefully I'll start doing something more interesting with Twitter in the future as well. But as always, kiddies, you've been awesome. I've been Jester. This has been the court's bad news, good news, bad news kind of situation. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see and you want to see more. And I will see you through the week in my game videos, not at the end of the week in another one.